Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about reality TV teen mom dad Ryan Edwards as he is gearing up to go to divorce court against his soon-to-be ex, Mackenzie Standifer Edwards. And it has been a battle between these two. I mean, even though he's completely happy, he's moved on. He just welcomed a baby girl with his fiance, Amanda Connor. And Mackenzie has moved on. She has rebuilt her life, rebuilt the house that was damaged, and they both seem moved on. But their divorce seems to be not going so well because in December they had mediation where they could have possibly, worked some things out and not had to go to like an actual trial for their divorce, but they could not agree on the exact terms of how Ryan's then girlfriend, Amanda Connor, would be introduced to the kids. So they ended up not accomplishing anything during mediation. So they set a divorce court hearing for in May, right? Well, news has come out now that Ryan Edwards plans to call his son Bentley and his ex-fiancee Macy as witnesses in court, which I'm like, this is probably not a smart move. Like, yes, they can testify to his character today, but they can also testify to the fact that he has relapsed several times. He has, that for 16 years, Macy has, dealt with him being okay for a while and then relapse. And it just, in my opinion, it's not going to go well. And two, I'm like, Bentley is not Mackenzie's son. So what like is he just going to call Bentley as a character witness to say, yes, my dad's doing great. We have a great relationship now. At first, I thought it was regarding the house he destroyed, that they'd be called to testify because of that. I don't think they know anything about that. But we're going to read the article from The Sun, and then I'm going to give you guys my opinion. And after this, I didn't want to put it in this video because it would be too long, but I have exclusive content concerning Ryan Edwards that after we close this video out, I have to put my watermark on this information, and then we're going to do another live stream. And this is exclusive information that I obtained through a source of mine. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video, but let's get into it, you guys. All right, so The Sun broke this story earlier today. It says teen mom star Ryan Edwards to call ex Macy Bookout and their son Bentley to testify in nasty divorce from Mackenzie. Ryan, who was 36, and Mackenzie, who was 27, have been going through a tumultuous divorce since she filed to end their 6-year marriage in February 2023. The Sun can exclusively reveal that if the case proceeds to trial, Ryan is prepared to call his baby mama Macy, who is 33, and their son Bentley, who has been his support system throughout his sobriety journey. That's what I'm saying, Sammy. Like, I was like, oh, like, does Ryan not understand that Macy will be cross-examined? And while Macy, you see, when Macy's being questioned by Ryan's lawyer, yeah, they'll have her speaking to how great Ryan is doing now and how things have never been better and blah, 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 blah. Yes, she can testify to that. Oh, he's been doing great. Yes. Blah. Does he pay child support? Sure. $200 something a month. Okay. Here's the thing. When Mackenzie's lawyer starts questioning Macy, I'm sure it will be so great that, y'all have a good relationship now. How long did it take y'all to get this relationship? 16 years. Okay. So, 2 years ago, where were you guys at? Did you guys ever have to take out a restraining order against Ryan Edwards? Yes, unfortunately we did. For what? Well, in the midst of his addiction, he called my husband and told my husband he was going to put a bullet in his head. Like, what? Like, there's so much that that Mackenzie's attorney could ask Macy that is not going to go well for her. Like, yes, she could say things are great now, that he's doing fine now, but it took 16 years. And that's what Mackenzie's attorney will question her about. Oh, so has Bentley ever had weekends where he went to his dad's house and where his dad actually cared for him as a dad? Well, no, that's never happened. Okay, so his visits, where are they at? Oh, at his grandparents' house. How long have they been like that? Oh, forever. Always. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's so much that I mean, I was like reading articles earlier and I was like, holy crap, like there's so much that even just 2 years ago, that Macy 3 years ago, that things was being put online, that Macy was putting things online where she was talking about Jen and Larry, where she was going after Ryan, well, that would be 3 years ago, yes. So I mean, I get it. They can be character witnesses to how you are today, and that's fine. But I think a judge is going to look at your history, unfortunately, because a judge is thinking, okay, if you've relapsed, unfortunately, I've got to consider that. I've got to consider that in 16 years, it took you 16 years to where you are just now getting to this place. However, you have, allegedly had moments of being sober for a year or whatever, which I am actually hearing. I am hearing that Ryan was actually not sober for like the past like 7 years or so, that he just hit it really well. But who knows? Yeah, Mackenzie's lawyer will definitely ask this question. So I think, and he's also going to have like people from CADA talk on his behalf. Let's finish the article and then I'll give my 2 cents about this, All right. So the Sun can exclusively reveal that if the case proceeds to trial, Ryan is prepared to call up Macy and their son Bentley, who has been his support system throughout his journey. In court papers obtained by the Sun, Ryan was asked to list each person whom you expect to call as a witness or expert witness at trial. Ryan listed Macy, which I really think that's going to bite him in the butt. Bentley, which I also think that could bite him in the butt. His mom, Jen, his dad, Larry, his aunt, Beth, and a representative from CADA's rehab. But on the flip side, Mackenzie can call a representative from the rehab that he left from, that he was court ordered to go to, like if she wanted to, if he wants to call like somebody from the rehab that he did fine in, she could call somebody from the rehab that he escaped from, that he left from. So it's just like, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I don't know. I don't know. Sure, the representative from Cadis will probably give him a pretty good, but then the judge will also take that into account too. Like this is a Cadis representative. So this also tells him that, just a year and a half or so ago, this is where he was. He was at Cadis, So obviously, newsflash, hello, he struggles with addiction. And he has for years. Like that's on his record. There's evidence of that. And when a judge is thinking about children, they should put the children first and consider all the possibilities, When asked to provide a list of names of any and all individuals who have any knowledge regarding any claims or defense in this action, he responded, also treating physicians, counselors for the parties and for the children. Her family, my family and friends also have knowledge of our grounds for divorce. And the grounds for their divorce was not in his favor at all. Ryan was then asked in court papers to describe why he should be named the primary residential custodian of the party's minor children. So he's literally trying to get full custody of the kids, or custody of the kids and primary custodian, to where they would live at his house. He, according to what this is saying, he is trying to get custody of the kids and get primary custodian where they would live with him. And I'm like, that's insane to really think about. Mackenzie, who doesn't have a criminal record, who's never been arrested, who has never had an addiction issue, who, went to court one time already with an ex, who did try to get custody of her kid and it didn't work. She still remains a primary parent. They just split custody. The kid, and there's claims out there that Mackenzie lost custody of Hudson after her and Ryan got together. That's not true. She never lost custody of him. She was in the middle of a divorce, and like it happens, the dad filed for custody. And he didn't like the fact that she was with Ryan. He didn't like the fact that, Hudson was filmed for a show, and he took her to court for custody, and they ended up getting 50-50. So she never lost custody of him. That's like a rumor that's out there. I don't know how it got started, but okay, Ryan was then asked in court paperwork. Okay, he said severe parental alienation is happening with the mother. As for evidence of his allegations for divorce, Ryan claimed to have text messages between myself and Mackenzie, pictures of myself and children, and any audio recordings, which is so crazy because I don't know what he may have, but I do know what was released months back. Mackenzie saying, hey, do you want to pick the kids up after church Sunday, and take them out to dinner, take them out to eat? And he says, with you? And she goes, no, not with me. Hey, do you want to get the kids? You want to see the kids? Spend extra time with them? Can Amanda come? No, Ryan, I'm not comfortable with her right now. So I would like for it to be y'all and not her. Well, then I'm not doing it. So like she has these messages where you blatantly say, if Amanda can't go, you won't go. Now, that's not to say that Ryan may have asked her, hey, can I see the kids some? And she said, no, sorry. Maybe they have plans. Maybe she just felt like, you know what? It's funny that I asked you to get them like the other day and you didn't want to because you thought I might come, or because you wanted Amanda to come. Now you're asking to get them, and I'm going to tell you no. So we really don't know what all they may have, but the fact that she does have evidence, they were put out there a while back because people was accusing Mackenzie of keeping Ryan from the kids, and she was like, I'm not. He has court ordered visitation that a judge set. The judge said he had to have supervised visits because of what he had been doing, because of how bad his addiction was, because of what he did to the house, because of the fact that he was stalking me, because of all these things. The judge felt it would be best if he had supervised visits. That's what a judge enforced. The kids go to his parents every other weekend. I've actually offered him more time with the kids, but if Amanda's not allowed to go, he don't want to take them. So there, like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have a question there. Charlie, I like that name. Says my husband got custody of his two kids. His ex was a decent mother. We got 100% custody. Never know. Is your ex like a really bad addict that has been like this is noted that he left rehab, got into an accident. He had court ordered rehab, left, got into an accident because he overdosed behind the wheel, had to be given Narcan, 2 vials of Narcan. He's been arrested several times, Him being under the influence of heroin behind the wheel is on TV. He don't even have a license. He don't even have a license because he can't drive. After he got out of court-ordered rehab and halfway house, he was thrown out of a bar for fighting, and he was caught on his motorcycle going like 140 something miles per hour. So the thing is, I'm not saying good dads can't get custody of their kids when the mom is still a good mom. Yes, that can happen. A good dad who works and takes care of his kids and is present, yeah, he has probably a pretty decent shot. But somebody like Ryan, against somebody with a court, like a record this thick, that is, there's records of it on TV, there's videos of it, of him very just not well against Mackenzie, who has done nothing, who doesn't have an addiction, has never been arrested. So yeah, I think good dads can possibly end up with custody, but I don't think someone that has the history as Ryan has even a shot at getting custody of the kids. And two, just think about what that will do with the kids. Ryan admitted in these documents that he only saw the kids like 26 days out of the year. So how big of a bond do they have with their mom, who is with them day in, day out, takes them to school, wakes them up, helps them, brushes their hair, all of these things. This is the mom that's with them day in, day out. And when they do see their dad. It's at Jen and Larry's. It's not, it's not their dad's house. It's at Jen and Larry's. So how comfortable do you think a 4 and a 6-year-old would be all of a sudden getting ripped from the home that they were born and brought home into, to be in at this house that they're not familiar with, with this woman that they don't really know that well? Like, to me, I think that's inducing a trauma on the kids that they don't deserve. And do we really think Ryan really wants full custody of the kids? I mean, they just got custody of Amanda's son. They just had a baby. Like, that's a lot to put on them. Like, why not just fight for like custody to see the kids, or even week on, week off, something like that? I don't know. All right, let's continue. All right. Court papers also reveal that Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend, Josh Panther, will be deposed. This is the interesting one for me. Mackenzie dated Josh from January 2023 to the summer. Ryan is claiming in court papers that Mackenzie is guilty of inappropriate marital conduct and adultery. Y'all remember, hey, show me the pink? Show me the pink. I mean, he continued, she was having an affair with Josh since approximately June 2022. Mackenzie responded. Okay, first off, I just want to say I reached out to my source to talk about this, about Josh being brought in as a witness for Ryan, that Ryan wanted to bring Josh in as a witness because he thought that Mackenzie and Josh were having an affair. And my source told me that Josh would be more than happy to go to court and is more than happy to tell the truth, which is that they were not having an affair. So that's probably not going to look good either on Ryan when he brings this man in and he testifies, yeah, no, we didn't start dating until after y'all broke up. Sorry, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the evidence of this? Maybe he has something that he thinks is evidence, whatever. But my source is telling me that Josh is like, he'll tell the truth. And the truth is, nothing was going on with them until after Ryan and Mackenzie split up. But Mackenzie can easily find the evidence of Ryan having Tinder accounts, the text messages that Ryan sent to the girl when Mackenzie was like off. Mackenzie, I think she had flew to Dallas to be fitted for her wedding dress. And when she was off in Dallas, he was texting someone saying like, trying to meet up with this girl, and then text the girl and said, let me show me your pink. And the girl ended up like leaking the messages, and Mackenzie reached out to the girl and was like, hey, will you please not do that? Like, will you please not leak any messages between you guys? Like, please, like, this is my husband. This is embarrassing. Like, please don't leak these, And the girl leaked those messages. The girl literally leaked messages from Mackenzie where Mackenzie is like begging him, like begging her, like, please, this is embarrassing. And what's not cheating? The messages? I mean, he was begging the girl to meet up with him. If you found the messages, he was like, want to meet up? Want to meet up? Can we meet up? So the only reason he didn't physically cheat, more than likely, is the girl didn't meet up with him. But I think he sent a D pic, and he was asking to see her pink. So, I mean, yeah, she found out, she stayed with him. She did, because he cried and told her he'd never do it again, and he was sorry, and it was a dumb mistake, and she loved him. And unfortunately, just consider yourself. I feel like people look at these people and they're like, oh, she stayed with him, oh, she did that. And it's like, how many times has we went through something, maybe not just like that, even when we were younger, because she was younger during this time. She was like 20 when this happened. Oh, thank you. A sky full of stars. So she was like 20. How many times when we were 20? Gosh, I mean, I literally stayed with my boyfriend until I was 21, and he cheated on me left, right, and center. And he begged me back, swore he wouldn't do it again, and I kept going back. So it doesn't, does it mean you deserve what she got? I don't think so. All right, so he said that, yes, she was having an affair with Josh Panther since approximately June 2022. Mackenzie responded to the Sun's request for comment. So the Sun reached out to Mackenzie and said, this is what's going on. Do you have a comment? And she said, I understand that he may be seeking solace or justification for his past actions. However, I find it harmful and dishonest to portray himself as the victim. I agree. It can absolutely be used. Okay, so then I don't know if that can be used if she knew and not only stayed, but tried to get the girl to keep quiet. So then why can he use hers? He's claiming he knew and stayed. He's claiming he knew from June 2022 and that he stayed. I mean, he was making posts on the internet, but then begging her back. So if no, that can absolutely be used. Like a lot of times, if you think your spouse is cheating, okay, if you think your spouse is cheating and you go to a lawyer, the lawyer will literally tell you, try to get as much evidence as you can, get evidence, and then leave. So we can present the evidence to the courts. They don't tell you, well, you need to leave right now because now that you know, a judge won't take that, since you know and you stay. No, they will tell you, stay, take pictures, and then like after you get plenty of evidence, then leave. Okay, so the guy from 90 Day Fiance, the private detective, so he was also a private detective. You guys know who Chipper Jones is? The famous. He was baseball. He played baseball years ago. Like when I was growing up, I was little. He played baseball. Very famous baseball player. But he was also famous for being a cheater. So Chipper Jones, his wife hired this guy, the detective, because she thought that Chipper Jones was having an affair. So she hired this detective. He said within 9 hours, he had evidence of her cheating on him, of Chipper Jones cheating on his wife with 3 different women in 9 hours. The first day that he went, that he started following Chipper Jones, he had evidence of Chipper Jones cheating with 3 different girls. So he met with her and her lawyer, presented the evidence. So Chipper Jones was coming up on a 3-year contract renewal that was going to make him like millions of dollars, right? So when she got this evidence, by the time he wrapped up his investigation, it was like a couple of weeks. They had found out that Chipper Jones had been with like 9 women, right? That he had this whole condo in the city, whatever, that he was bringing women in and out of, and it was like 9 women. So he met with her, presented her with the evidence. She was hot. Obviously, she wanted to leave him, and the lawyer said, "Listen, he will actually be signing a contract soon. I think it was like in a year." Like in a year, he's going to sign another contract with the Atlanta Braves, and he's going to get X amount of millions of dollars. The lawyer knew this information, whatever. He said, stay with him, keep this evidence. After he signs that contract, right after he signs the contract, file for divorce, bring this evidence. Then you get half of his money. So that's what she did. She had to stay with this man for a year. You always mention this Chipper Jones, I know. Yeah, this was like growing up, like I knew who he was because my cousin loved him. So she had to sit on this information for a year and act like she was not mad at her husband about this. And then once he signed that contract, she left him and she got a big old paycheck because she had all this evidence that he was having an affair. And then guess what? They got a divorce. He remarried and he cheated on that woman. And the woman that he remarried also hired this detective. To find if Chipper Jones was cheating, and he was. So no, you can absolutely stay. Your lawyers will tell you to stay and collect evidence so you can present it to court. And one doesn't cancel out the other one. Here's the thing: if one person has evidence you cheated, like text messages, and that may not be like full blown cheating, but that's obviously proof that you were trying to step outside of your marriage. So if one person has this evidence that you did this and it was publicized and it was something that was embarrassing to your wife, that it was put all over the internet, like a judge will take those things into account too. But if you have this evidence that this really happened versus what you think happened, or if you even have evidence that she did do it, it doesn't cancel out the other one. Like, you know what I'm saying? The judge ain't gonna be like, well, I mean, the judge might be like, well, y'all both cheated, suck it up. But really, I mean, I do know sometimes when you can prove they cheated, it can affect certain things. Like you cannot, oh my goodness, TK, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sending my love and prayers to you. But anyways, let's continue reading the article because if you cheat, so if Ryan, okay, so if they split up and Mackenzie asked for spousal support, which she's not, if he has evidence she cheated, then she could not qualify for spousal support. If Ryan wanted spousal support and she had evidence he cheated, then he cannot get spousal support. So it does have some effect. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let's continue reading because this is interesting. Okay, so she says, I find it harmful and dishonest to portray himself as the victim. Ryan's focus should be on providing for and nurturing his children, both from our relationship and others. The pain he has caused our family is not forgotten. Unlike Ryan, I cannot attribute my actions to an addiction. My children and I have clear memories of the suffering we endured and continue to endure because of his choices. He needs to prioritize his responsibilities as a father and stop with the objective lies. Viewers have watched Ryan mend his relationship with Macy on MTV's Teen Mom the Next Chapter. This season also focuses on Ryan bonding with his 16-year-old son, Bentley. Macy and Ryan have had a tumultuous relationship through the years because of his addiction and his marriage to Mackenzie, who Macy did not get along with. As Ryan worked on his sobriety, Macy reconciled with him and formed a relationship with his now fiancee, Amanda Connor, whom she went to high school with. The family spent holidays and milestones together, including Ryan's 1 year sober celebration and Bentley's 16th birthday. Dad, this was something we talked about yesterday. The Sun previously reported on Ryan's financial situation. Ryan was asked to provide each and every checking account maintained by him in the last 3 years. One checking account in his sole name had a balance of $2,200 as of September 2024. In another account, which he shares with his mom, Jen, there's a balance of $57.47. When asked to disclose savings accounts and retirement plans, Ryan responded none. In regard to debt, Ryan listed credit card debt totaling over $18,000. He also listed a Rocket mortgage loan for $320,000 for a Harrison, Tennessee home that he shared with Mackenzie. Ryan also cited under debt his 2020 and 2021 income tax. As he explained in the court papers, Mackenzie told me she had the taxes done filing jointly, but as I found out this year, they were not. I'm in the process of trying to get my 1099s from new remote productions, but have not received them yet. I don't know how much was made those years. As far as personal property owned by Ryan, he listed a 2018 Ford F-150 truck with a value of $25,000, a 2017 Harley Davidson with a value of 18 grand, a 2024 Ducati motorcycle worth 24 grand, a 2018 jet ski worth 8 grand, and various tools worth over $50,000. Ryan listed his employment as a diesel mechanic doing 12-hour shifts 3 days a week for $27 an hour. Ryan began the job August 2024. He also stars on MTV's Teen Mom the Next Chapter, which is currently airing. He said his income from the network, this is what he said, this ain't what I'm saying, that his income from the network depends on the number of episodes he is in, but he is paid $35,000 per episode. So, I mean, I should have looked to see how many episodes he's been in, but I think they normally do about 13 episodes. Just say he's in 8 of them. That's $175,000. If he's in 8, you know. This comes after the court ruled on February 3rd that Ryan must pay Mackenzie temporary child support in the amount of $1,553 per month for their 2 children, Jagger and Stella. And last I heard, he had not paid it yet. Also, the outlet reported that Ryan's fiancee, Amanda, is now allowed to be around their children per the judge. This is supervised. Ryan already had supervised visits at his parents' house every other weekend. So now Amanda can be there. They still, it's not like Ryan and Amanda can get the kids on the weekend and go to their house. It's still supervised. Right, Miss Maverick? In October, Mackenzie requested child support from Ryan as she claimed he refused to pay. In court documents obtained by the Sun, Ryan filed financial information ahead of the hearing, he listed his monthly income as $16,010 a month. His good faith estimate for Mackenzie's monthly income was $4,166. Ryan also revealed Mackenzie has Jagger and Stella in her custody 339 days out of the year, while he is with them just 26 days. Okay, so I'm not going to go any more into that because we already went over a lot of that. So I am very curious, like, does he really want a 4 and a 6-year-old full time while he is at work, 3 days out of the week? So they will be on Amanda, who just had a baby, when they could be, with Mackenzie, like their mom, or like, especially like during school holidays, like, or days that are the Mackenzie's off. I don't know what Mackenzie's work schedule is, but I just, I don't know. This is wild to me. And I feel like all he has to do is put down 5K a month on his credit card, and within 5 months, it will be paid off. That's kind of how I'm thinking, allegedly. Like, I'm like, does it have to do with child support? And listen, I am glad that he's doing good. That's great. That's awesome. I'm glad that Amanda is doing well. Their kids deserve nothing less than their parents to be in the best shape ever. That's what their kids deserve. I think everybody deserves a second chance at life. And Ryan has obviously had that. So I feel like people always get it twisted and think like, oh, I hate them. It's not about hate. It's not that deep. I just look at all the things that happened with Mackenzie and what he put her through, and me, like, being very naive and did not know much about drugs when I was growing up. And I had a boyfriend who made me feel, well, gaslit me, lied to me about what he was doing, cheated on me, and I was in love, and we had a kid together, and I needed to try to make my family work. So I went back so many times when I shouldn't have, and made a ton of mistakes when I should have left him from very, very, very early on. So, and now hearing of all the things that, like, he's really put her through, I'm like, dude, how can you put your kids and your wife through all those things? Like, because everybody's like, well, she talked down on Macy. So what does that got to do with Ryan mistreating her? What does Mackenzie bashing Macy have to do with how Ryan treated her? Because Ryan was all about Mackenzie bashing Macy. Who you think was filling Mackenzie's head with all this crap about Macy? Ryan and Jen and Larry. The reason Mackenzie, like, I went back and watched the episode where they had dinner, where they had lunch, where Mackenzie and Macy sit down and had lunch. And as now someone that is certified in body language, I could tell that Mackenzie was very uncomfortable when Macy started talking about Jen and Larry and how Bentley don't even want to go to Jen's anymore because, like, he don't want to sleep in the bed with her. Like, Mackenzie immediately got uncomfortable with her, with Macy talking about Jen and Larry in kind of like a way, like, kind of like a negative way, like, oh, Bentley don't want to go over there. Like, he thinks it's weird. Like, he don't want to sleep in the bed with his grandma. Like, and she immediately got like her shoulders went up, and she was like, and yes, she did go back and she told them, which when I watched it way back when it aired, not being certified in body language, I was like, dude, y'all had a pretty good lunch. Why'd you go back and just like rat out what Macy said about Bentley not wanting to be there and sleeping in the bed with y'all? Like, why did you do that? But now, as someone that reads into body language, it made her very uncomfortable, and it made her feel like, it seemed like it made her feel like, oh God, we're being filmed, and she's kind of talking bad about my mother-in-law, who I get along with, and if I don't say anything. So I feel like Mackenzie felt like she had to go back and like tell her ahead of time, like, well, this is what Macy was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she would have just went back and like, oh yeah, we had a great lunch, everything went great. Once the episode aired and Jen and Larry and Ryan would have saw that, I think they would have been like, she was literally like crap talking my mom, and, or Jen and Larry would have been like, she's crap talking Jen, and you just sat there like giddy with her, So yes, Mackenzie went after Macy, but Ryan and Jen and Larry was filling her head with stuff. And so I'm like, I just don't feel like at 19, 20 years old, when you get married, we're young, we're dumb, you make mistakes. I don't feel like she deserved all of this, and her kids deserved all of this just because, Maybe we think she was in it for the money. Maybe we think she didn't love him. Like, maybe we think this. Like, I have a source that knows them and has told, and I'm going to talk about it in the next video. The next video is actually going to talk about some things that has not been put out there at all. The stuff that this woman, that Ryan did to her when they were not on the show. So it wasn't she was with him for the money. It was clearly because she still loved him and was trying everything to, and had kids with him, and they had this home, and she wasn't working, and she just didn't know what to do, and these horrible things that was happening to her. This man put a gun to her head more than once. This man put a gun to her chest. This man put a knife to her back. You know what I'm saying? And witnesses saw these things. He saw these things. So, like, don't like Mackenzie if you don't want to, whatever. But if you're going to be mad over the fact that she talked crap about Macy, and I was, and I still didn't like it. My source says the Mackenzie, looking back, is like, I shouldn't have did that. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have, because Macy was just trying to protect Bentley. But Mackenzie was being fed a bunch of stuff from Ryan and Jen and Larry. So, like, and Macy can dislike Mackenzie, but Mackenzie thought the way she thought because of them, because of Jen and Larry. So I found this episode, not this episode, this article when I was looking through things, and let me see if I can find it. This was when there was an episode where Jen and Larry was talking about, where Jen and Larry and Ryan and Mackenzie was talking about how Macy don't let Ryan see Bentley. And this was in 2021, late 2021. And after the episode aired, Macy tweeted this: "Do I have control over his bio dad showing up to 5 out of 100 school sporting events that Bentley has? And why does he never call or text Bentley?" And then Mackenzie McKee tweeted saying, "Honestly, though, I couldn't be as nice as Macy if I was in her situation." And Macy responded, the fuse is coming to its end. And then during the latest episode, Macy also took aim at Ryan's delusional parents, Jen and Larry, for previously claiming they're not allowed to see Bentley. Back in October, Larry exclusively spoke to the son about the family's relationship with their eldest grandson. Larry claimed that Ryan couldn't see his son, and that his relationship with Macy hadn't been going well. Like, the Jen and Larry's relationship with Macy hadn't been going well. Ryan has been battling drug addiction for years and recently sparked rumors that he had relapsed. The reality star's dad also said he and wife Jen do not see Bentley as often as they used to. After reading the article, Macy told a friend they've been allowed to see him the whole time. They just saw him at Jagger's birthday party. Ryan and his wife Mackenzie share a son, Jagger, and a daughter, Stella. After stating nothing's happened with Jen and Larry, Macy continued, "I feel like this was an attempt to get my attention because they're frustrated, or to get my attention to say things they would say to, or to get my attention so they could say things to me but won't. That they want to say to me, but they won't. If I went to the press and spilled all the tea," so this is Macy talking about Jen and Larry and Ryan. "If I went to the press and spilled all the tea, y'all probably would never want to leave your damn house again." So Macy in 2021 saying, if I went to the press and I spilled all the tea I know about y'all, y'all wouldn't even want to leave your damn house. You'd be so embarrassed. So I'm like, and Macy, you know these things. Like, it didn't take you, when you and Ryan split, and like, y'all didn't just have a great relationship. It took 16 years to get here. And Mackenzie went through way more than Macy did, unfortunately. And Mackenzie has 2 kids. And so, of course, Mackenzie is going to be protective. And Ryan comes out of rehab with this girlfriend that also has a really bad history. And, thank God she doesn't anymore. That's awesome. But listen, if you're the parent, if you're the mom, and their dad has this history, and then he brings a woman into his life that has this history too, that has like over 40 something charges, you're going to be like, no, I don't want her around my kids right now. Like, she's going to need to like do well for a while, no. And I can't blame her for that, you know? Oh, Max Lawyer makes look like the drunk she is. Oh, Macy. Yeah. Why do all these losers have animals? They couldn't take care of themselves or kids alone. Did somebody bring up the fact that he shot cats or killed cats? 100% didn't like when Mackenzie and all the others treated Macy, but it's not at all deserved for her to be abused. And she was young. Everything said, "Oh, you were spot on." Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And two, I'm like, we did not like how Mackenzie treated Macy. We don't like it. Macy had a kid that she was protecting. We didn't like it. But now so many people think it's funny that Amanda treats Mackenzie the way she's treating her. You know, when Mackenzie is trying to do the same thing, she's trying to protect her kids. You know, she just wants to make sure her kids are like okay whenever they go to their grandparents' house, that they're around their dad. She just wants to make sure everything's okay. And she has given in to things she didn't have to give into, like the restraining order that she had on Ryan. She let that go so Ryan could call and talk to the kids. Um, there were things she could have pushed that she didn't push. And meanwhile, like the whole world's talking about how she's so what is it that they say? Like she's so petty and she's so pressed and she's so mad. Oh, she's so bitter. And like according to my sources that know both of them, they're like, she's just trying to move on with her life. She just wants to protect her kids. Like she's not bitter. She does not want Ryan back. She was so scared towards the end of their relationship. Like the last few years of their relationship, she was terrified. She had to get up on her feet so she could get her and her kids out because she was terrified. But she does not want Ryan at all. Like Ryan and Amanda can have each other. She just wants to ensure her children's safety. That's all that it is. Um, was it Bentley's choice to try with his dad? I don't know. What kills me is the kids will see what Amanda is doing online against her mom, but Amanda don't care. Yeah, that's something that, like, honestly, when Amanda first came into the picture, at first I was like, oh gosh, like she's got this big background and all this history, and this can't be good. They met at rehab. Oh Lord. But I started following her on TikTok and I thought she was pretty funny. I was like, she's pretty funny. But then I started seeing like how she was picking on Mackenzie. And I was like, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Can't support that. Um, that's actually not true, Brandy. She filed for divorce first. She filed for divorce first, and she started dating someone months down the line. They ended up breaking up because she did feel like it was too soon for her to be in a relationship. But she never tried to get back with him, as far as what my sources are telling me. That she was petrified during the end of their relationship. So unless I see some facts of where she actually tried to get, my sources have given me so much information and proof behind of it. Um, she had documents that needed to be filed and she just didn't file them because she was trying to put her house back together. And when you file documents with a court and you have a lawyer, you got to pay for that. Right. So, I mean, I have a cousin that her and her man split up and he gave her money to pay for the divorce. She didn't use the money to pay for a divorce because, well, she had two kids and he wasn't paying child support. So she ended up, or actually, no, she did file for the divorce, but she didn't file all the paperwork afterwards. So the same thing happened. She didn't have money to go forward like with the divorce because she had two kids that she was taking care of and he wasn't paying her nothing for child support. So it ended up like the time ran out and it was dropped. Well, then like they had to refile and she did not want him back. you know, um, I know that's like what the word is that she went back to the rehab to get back with him, but who asked her to come to that rehab? Ryan did. Like on the reunion, Jen and Larry was like, she wasn't supposed to be there. And it's like Ryan's the one that called her and asked her to come. Ryan's the one that told her where he is. Come here, I'll come down. you know? But anyways, you guys, I think this could definitely blow up in his face to have Macy. She has his legal wife taking care of his kids. I just think this could absolutely blow up in his face to have Macy testify because on cross examination, they can bring up the restraining order. They can bring up so much stuff. And honestly, like bring in Bentley into this as well. Like, I'm like, Bentley is not Mackenzie's kid. That is your kid. And yes, y'all have a good relationship now. Um, well, what ring was she wearing? Do we know for sure it was her wedding ring? Like, we don't know, you know? Um, and she went because even though she was terrified of him because he threatened to kill her several times and put guns to her head and destroyed her house, at this point, he had been in jail for like a month, went to rehab for like a month, then went to a halfway house, and she went to visit him there because he asked her to. So she thought, well, he's in his right mind. He's doing better. Yes, I'm going to go talk to him. They still have kids. Like, they still have kids. Like, the kids are wanting to talk to their dad. So she still married him at this point, you know? Yeah, Ryan has threatened, including Macy's husband. Yeah. So yeah, and I feel like dragging Bentley into this, like, you don't know what might be revealed in that courtroom about somebody. So I just feel like, yes, Bentley can attest to he can be a character witness, but I just feel like when you bring him and you put him on the stand as a character witness, that still gives Mackenzie's attorney the opportunity to speak to him. And then what will he be asked to talk about, what kind of dad you were to him and how it affected him. But if you put him on the stand to testify on your behalf, then fair shot for whatever. And I just feel like at 16, he's already been through enough with all your shenanigans. Like, don't put him in the middle of that. Macy had a restraining order too. Yeah, I agree. That's true, Miss Leah. He's already had his whole life put on TV. Why not throw him in court? True. Um, yeah, I don't see Bentley wanting to testify against his father. And the thing about it is if he testifies on behalf of his father, legally, he has to be cross-examined. Legally, you have to give the other side the ability to question. And I agree, like, yeah, we are in the here and the now, and he has supervised visits. His girlfriend, his fiance is now allowed to have supervised visits as well. He's been having overnight visits. He just hasn't used them. I mean, unless he did the first weekend that Amanda was able to stay there. So he's been able to have overnight visits for months. Didn't stay one night overnight. Didn't pay a lick of child support since he's been sober. So, I mean, you still, like, even though he's been sober, like, he still allowed his girlfriend to go after his baby mama. He has still been very nasty to her in text messages and stuff. So yeah, he's sober. That's great. And what kind of dad is he going to be now that he's sober? Well, he's been a pretty good dad to Bentley, but he still ain't been a pretty good dad to Jagger and Stella. Well, this is the way that I look at it. If Ryan wants to put Bentley on the stand to pump him up as a great dad, my first thought is my kids. And if I dealt with a man that put a gun to my head and put a gun to my chest and put a knife to my back in front of my kids and destroyed our house, guess what? At all costs, I will try to protect them at all costs. Yes, they get to see their dad. Yes, they get supervised visits, and we will work towards, unsupervised visits later on down the line. But you getting custody of my kids? No, 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 no. I will, especially if I was dealing with somebody like Ryan. No, guess what? I will tell my lawyer, unfortunately, he put his son in this position and I got to protect myself. So question him, bring these things up. I'm sorry. Don't put your son on the stand to try to, because that's, to me, that is manipulation. That is Ryan doing exactly that. Oh, I'm going to put Bentley on the stand so he'll say how great I am all of a sudden and how great we are all of a sudden. And then, Mackenzie's lawyer ain't going to go too hard on him because he's a kid. She shouldn't bring any of these things up because he's a kid. Like, hell no. I'm sorry. Don't put your son on the stand because my first priority is my kids. While yes, I care about Bentley and I don't want him to have to. And I don't think Mackenzie's lawyer would like be yelling at him or anything, but I think he's going to ask him the truth. Like, hey, so do you have a good relationship with your dad? Yes. How long has it been a good relationship? The past 6 months, year, whatever. What was it like before that? How often do you see him? Do you know about your dad's issues in the past? Yes. Do you know about this? So I don't think her attorney's going to like attack him, but she can, the questions can be asked as to what kind of dad he has been his entire life. They're 4 and 6. I'm surprised Macy would be okay with Bentley testifying. I would never put a minor on the witness stand. That's why I would never practice family law. Same. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Bentley should not be put in the middle of all of this. And in my opinion, him putting Bentley in the middle of this, it seems very unfair. And it seems like he may be doing it thinking, oh, well, Bentley's going to paint a pretty picture of me. And then because he's a kid, yeah, it's all public knowledge, but a judge ain't supposed to know this. They still got to prove this in court. Like they're not the attorneys are not going to get there at court and say, well, judge, just go watch Teen Mom and read some articles. See you later. Call us when you got a decision. No, they have to go in there and they have to plead their case. And if they have witnesses, both attorneys get to talk to witnesses and ask them the questions. It's true. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I have another video that we're going to be doing. I need about an hour because I got some information that I need to watermark because it's stuff that's not been put out there yet in regards to Ryan. I hope they open the door to allow the proof from a Teen Mom. Yeah, because sometimes they won't. Some courts won't. And unfortunately, you got to think about it like this too. Like, who's going to be the judge presiding over the case? Is it going to be the judge that are Jen and Larry's neighbors? It's wild, Brandy. Oh my goodness, right? Could that be a possibility? Then if it doesn't work in Ryan's favor, will Bentley feel like it's his fault? If Ryan wins and messes up, will Bentley feel like it's his fault that he helped his dad get custody and then his dad, screwed it up? Yeah. That's true too. That's true. Really, she don't have to give consent. Yes, yes. One of the judges that Ryan has went in front of several times is their neighbor, is Jen and Larry's neighbor, really good friends with them, which is why he has gotten away with so much. Thank you. Thank you, St. Elmo's Fire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have kids with an addict, then it's not irrelevant. Let me tell you, my older two kids' dad is very similar to Ryan. And while he's living in a halfway house and he's sober now and he's doing good now, I always have to take into the account the possibility of a relapse. My kids are not allowed to ride in a vehicle with him. My kids they don't go stay the weekend at his house. Well, for one, but the entire time they were growing up, they went to his parents' house and they spent the weekends at his parents' house and he had to go there to see them because addiction cannot be irrelevant just because you're sober all of a sudden. Guess what? Years ago, he was sober and then he relapsed and he did crazy things. So unfortunately, you have to take that into account if you have kids. Addiction makes you a different person. It does. But how do we know that he'll stay sober? And unfortunately, him sober, he still has made dumb decisions because sober Ryan got pulled over for going like 140 something miles per hour on a motorcycle. Sober Ryan got involved in a fight in a bar and got thrown out of a bar. Sober Ryan still has done questionable things that me as a mom would be like, wait a minute now. My mother is a severe addict and was sober for a couple of years at a time, then it would relapse. Yeah, and that's been Ryan's story, and that's very unfortunate, and I hope it doesn't. I hope he can stay sober. Thank you, Shenanigans. Honestly, without him, oh my goodness, I don't even know how I would have made it. Everything he did to everyone is okay because he was an addict. Yeah, that's not how I believe. No, I've been sober for 9 years, but drinking Being my addiction, I've relapsed over 12 times. Wow. Before there's 9 years struck, you're not wrong, Gail. Yeah. And, and that is unfortunate. That is so unfortunate that like relapse can sometimes be a part of your story. It sucks. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on your 9 year sobriety. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. There have to be safeguards in place. He's trying to go for full custody where the kids will be at his house, living with him. If they live with him and he relapses and nobody is aware because he's hiding it, and then he's driving down the road under the influence and nobody's aware that he's relapsed yet because, well, he's good at hiding it until he gets really bad off and then he wrecks and kills a kid because he's under the influence of something. Or say he does relapse and Amanda and Jenna Larry know, but they're like, oh my goodness, like we don't want Mackenzie to find out because she'll take the kids. So they try to keep it top secret that he's relapsed and they try to handle it without her knowing. And then something bad happens. You know what I'm saying? And like, sorry, nope, sorry. Like, I believe he deserves supervised visits for a longer period. And then when he's been sober a little bit longer, then they can go to unsupervised visits. That's the safeguards that got to be put in place. Work with addicts, and it's on the addict any choices or actions of his. Yeah, so unfortunately, I feel like the safeguards being put in place is him not having full custody of the kids and them living with him. I mean, I think it's great that he's doing good, and I think he should be able to see his kids. That's awesome, but I think he should be supervised still. I don't even think they should get 50-50, honestly. I don't even think they should get 50-50. That's just my opinion. Anyways, you guys, I've got to prepare for the next live. This is going to be information that has never been put out there regarding Ryan and Mackenzie's relationship. I've talked to sources that witnessed this stuff firsthand. And I have evidence of some of this stuff. I have pictures that I'm going to be showing you guys that have never been seen of another incident regarding the house where Ryan trashed the house, tore up pictures of the kids. So we're going to be back shortly after this. Probably give me about an hour because I do have to put my timestamps on everything. I mean, my watermark on everything. But give me about an hour and I will be back. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think it's a good idea for Ryan to want to bring Macy and Bentley in as a character witnesses? Also, bringing in a man that says that Mackenzie cheated on him with. However, the man is saying, actually, we were just friends and we didn't start dating until after. How is that going to pan out for him? And I'm curious, what evidence does he have that makes him think that, they did in fact cheat? You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below and join me back here in about an hour. Like this video on the way out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.